Hey guys, welcome to this week's Meet the Collection. We'll see how this guy does. These guys aren't really acclimated to handling yet. This is one of the 2020 babies. As you can see, he was doing all right. Now that I started talking, he's freaked out just a little bit. So we're going to try to keep movements to a minimum and, do things that aren't going to freak him out too much. This is a male that I am going to keep from the first clutch that I had this year. So you may have seen him when I did the video where I went over the whole clutch and introduced them all. He's one that I had said in the video had a mediocre temperament, but he did really good in that video, and he's been doing really good overall. So this will be interesting to see because I'm pushing him outside of his comfort zone. I don't remember his exact hatch date now. Obviously these babies I think are a little over a month old now. So it's early on for them to be even this well behaved. A lot of times to get to even this level takes me about 3 months. But Lilith's babies by and large usually seem to be pretty good. So we're gonna see how it goes. I did a video recently with one for something else, and it didn't last very long before it started, flopping around and doing some very Borneo short tail type things. So if you notice as I'm moving, I'm not really manipulating him much. I'm letting him think that any movements that are being made are his doing. And I'm just kind of supporting him and moving in order to make that happen. Not grabbing him, not manipulating much, kind of just letting him run to the show. And that tends to get me the most success when you're starting out and working on building trust with them. I did do a video early on taming hatchlings, and I'm ahead of the curve on what that video suggests, but that is a good place to start. As I get bit in the face because I'm scratching my nose. Oh, he's going to the bathroom. Nice big urate. This guy's been eating really well. I think he's already had like 4 meals now, and he's already on frozen thawed too. So maneuvering him like this and getting him to move around obviously is encouraging that bowel movement. So that does happen. But I really like this guy. I'm not 100% sure that he is sideswipe. I think that he is, which is why I'm keeping him. I'm also keeping him because I'm not 100% sure. So I want to see what this look produces in the future, which will mean that at some point I'll have to breed him to a non-sideswipe animal to see if I get sideswipes or not. Sideswipe is a gene that we know to be dominant, at least. We need to do a little more exploring to see if there's a super form or anything like that. I was supposed to be working on that, but I've kind of not backburnered it, but I've focused on some other things with my sideswipe line for right now. But I do need to get back to that and work on that. Part of the reason I haven't is because my space is limited. And when I do that, those sideswipe to sideswipe pairings, I'm going to have to keep every single sideswipe baby and see if anything is a super, because for all we know, there could be no visual difference between, what's a super and what's not. So unless they come out and it's blatantly obvious, which is going to be tough considering it's not something we've ever seen before, it's going to require a lot of holdbacks, a lot of time and things like that. And right now space is limited. What I like about this guy so far is he's pretty confident for his age. I mean, you can see he's handling some stuff. Now here comes the rest of the poop. Let him finish squeezing that out there. So I think half the reason he's been moving as much as he is was just pushing this out. We'll see what happens when he finishes going to the bathroom here. Guess just give you a graphic warning. You can see those short tails push out some pretty good sized poop. And pretty frequently at this age. That's a monster. Look at that thing. All right, it's coming. There it goes. Is that the end? I think so. I think that's the end of it. 2 big poops and a urate. But yeah, they'll poop pretty frequently at this age, and then it slows down, as they age. And then eventually sometimes they'll go 6+ months without going to the bathroom like that. They let go of a lot of urates and urine and things, but as far as poop goes, it might be infrequent. But anyways, what I like about this baby is how confident he is despite the young age. And you can still see some nervous behavior, but he's not overly defensive. He's using his brain to see what's going on and whether or not he needs to take action. And right now he feels that he doesn't have to. I'm trying to turn him so you can see his face, but of course he wants to watch me because he doesn't know exactly what I am, really. He's only seen me a couple of times. But like I said, he's coming along really nicely. He's a beautiful animal. His temperament's been really great. You know, since the first week or so, he was kind of a curmudgeon, but he's calmed down very quickly. There's a few that have not calmed down. There's a few that are downright nasty. But they all kind of mature and decide these things at a different pace. And you kind of have to figure out each individual baby and what works for them. For this guy, what I found is I haven't been going in and just grabbing him out of his tub. He likes to come out on his own. So as long as I let him initiate that, he lets me pick him right up and we're good. If I go in to try to grab him, that's when his defensive side will kick in. And so that's like, as I said, I'm trying not to overly manipulate him. I'm kind of trying to let him move and do what he wants to do. And that helps as well. And then eventually you can start manipulating them more and doing stuff as they realize that you're not a threat and as their confidence builds. And that's the nice thing about a lot of short tails is they will build confidence pretty quickly. You know, and like I said, every animal is an individual, so you kind of have to figure that out. But overall, you can see he's building confidence nicely and coming along nicely. And hopefully as I'm letting him move around, you can see why I kept him and why I think he's so cool. This isn't the best lighting. But you can see obviously his genetic stripe is ridiculous. It's absolutely perfect, you know, head to tail. And then I love, you know, that white coloration down there, which looks a little off-white right now, just with the lighting and everything else, but it's very white. And when it mixes with that cream and everything else, it gets a really cool look. And then of course, you know, these voids in the pattern on the side, that kind of looks sideswipey. It's not quite, but because Ultra's involved in this and Ultra also manipulates pattern, it's quite possible that this animal has both those genes going on and it's just kind of fighting for positioning on the patterning there. And so that's why I kept him to figure that out. Maybe he's just a crazy funky Ultra. You know, I mean, that's possible too, which isn't the end of the world. I wouldn't be upset. He's a really cool snake regardless. But this is how we figure these things out with these genes that we don't have a lot of information on. There's only a few people that have worked with it at all, and I don't know how many clutches Matt J has done. He may have done more than I have with Sideswipe, but beyond him, I don't think there's anybody else that's done more than I have as far as number of clutches with them. And I could be wrong, you know, there's people that I don't know of out there, but it wouldn't be very many if it is. And I don't know how many Matt's done. I know Matt focuses a lot on ball python projects, but I know he's done a lot of Borneos in the past. But you can see, fairly calm, alert. You can see his head and eyes moving and, you know, tongue flicks when he feels it's necessary. There's a little bit of posturing in his body, but not a lot. Mostly just him trying to assess the situation. If I were to do something where he felt the need to get defensive, I promise you he would. Whether it's just thrash or whether it's bite, you know, would depend on what kind of threat he deemed. But overall, I'm really happy where this guy is at. Really look forward to him. I wanted to do an early meet the collection with him so that maybe, you know, every 6 months or a year or when he looks really different, I can do videos with him and you guys can kind of follow along as he ages on the channel here and get to see how they develop. Orion is much different looking now than he was at this age. So it'll be exciting to see where this guy goes. You can see his little head there checking you out. I'm going to cut this short though, because I'm going to try to shoot another video. I have Callisto outside here, which you'll probably see her before you'll see this video, just because I'll do that for the Tuesday and he'll be the Thursday segment. But I am shooting this one first. I like to confuse you with the timeline, really make it a little wacky. But I appreciate everybody who comments. Please leave a comment on him, what you think. I just want to take a chance also to say thank you to the people who have let me come to their house and film so far for the channel. Phil and Jason and Dylan and Scott. Everybody else that's, you know, followed and shared and all that stuff. And please share videos if you like them. We're almost to the point where I can do live videos. I need another Checked earlier. I think it's like 77 subscribers or something like that, and I'll be able to do live videos. And then that'll be fun. We can start doing some more stuff that's harder to do like this. It'd be easier to just do live, less formal. So this guy's out. I do need to come up with a name for him. It'll probably take me a while. I have stuff that's much older that I still haven't figured out, but we'll see. Maybe something will strike me. See you guys. Thank you.